Hi, welcome to an introductory video on how to use Jupyter Labs. My name's Archie and I'm going to be covering the video tutorials on Python throughout this video series. Today we're just going to be doing the basics of Jupyter Labs, so here we go, let's jump straight into it. So this is what you'll see when you come into Jupyter Labs. On the right here is the coding environment. Now in the coding environment you've got cells, which make up the basis of Jupyter Labs. But let's hold off a wee second and cover files on the left. On the left here is the file area. This is where you'll keep your notebooks, your folders, and any images that you save as well. So back over here. Today we're going to be covering just the basic controls, what cells are, and what a variable is as well. So what is this place? This is a notebook, what you're seeing in front of me. This is the default notebook. It's a coding environment made up of cells where code can be executed one cell at a time. This is what's quite good about Jupyter Labs. You don't need to run a full program. So this allows you to run parts of your code at a time. What do I mean by run? Well, to run a cell, we press Enter and Shift together. You can see here, this example here, this is a cell. I've placed a hashtag at the beginning of it as a comment. This means that any text that follows after it is not executed as code. The Python environment just ignores it. And I can press Control and Enter to switch to the next cell. And it'll just automatically move down after you execute a cell, which is very good if you just want to run through your program very quickly. So, for example, in this cell here, we have a variable called mySum. We can call variables whatever name we want. When we're first learning Python, most people call them my and then whatever it is. We're assigning a very basic calculation. This is very basic, just 1 plus 2. And the plus symbol works exactly the same as maths. So 1 plus 2 is going to be, but we can't see it yet because we need to use a print statement, a print function, in order to see what value our variable holds. So when I execute the cell with print in it, we can see that it outputs the value of our variable, mySum, just below it, just below the cell. So it outputs 3 because 1 plus 2 is 3. We can change the value of a variable as well by updating it in our code. So in this cell, you can see that mySum is now going to be assigned a new value based on the calculation 1 plus 6. And when we print it out, it should give us the answer. And it does, it's 7. So another thing to notice is running cells out of order. What if you don't run all of your cells from top to bottom? Well, this is where mistakes can happen, and unfortunately, many people come across these mistakes all the time as they don't execute from top to bottom. When I execute this cell now, that is just print mySum, whatever value is in mySum will be outputted. So instead of 3, since we've performed a new calculation, mySum is going to output 7. There we go. It's because of this setup. I can't quite press it properly. Here we go. So notice that when we run it out of order, this impacts what outputs we get from our functions. It's very important to always run your cells from top to bottom. Now let's cover the top taskbar. What I'm referring to here with the top taskbar is this bunch of buttons here. So to add a new cell, because you want to make new cells, you press this plus button here. Now we have a new cell. And I can type whatever I want in it. For example, hello there. And if I want to get rid of this cell, we press the scissors button up here. This will get rid of whatever is inside of the cell as well. So now no one is able to reply to my hello there. So be very careful not to delete code or anything important. Another thing to notice is on the left-hand side here, you'll see 2 square brackets with a number inside of them. The number indicates the order in which that cell was executed. So you can see here, 4, this cell down here, it says 4, and the next cell that we executed, this one up here, just print mySum. And because this one was executed next, it has a number 5. This shows that the order went 2, and then this print mySum would have been 3, and then 4, and then back up to 5. This shows that we've executed them out of order, and this isn't good. You never want to have a higher number above a lower number in in your cells. Make sure you always execute from top to bottom to avoid mistakes. Another problem that people run into all the time, and is really annoying, is when your cell isn't responding, it seems to just be loading forever. And it's likely that it probably is. You've likely run an infinite loop, or there's something else that's gone wrong, and it's just not, it's still executing, but it's not outputting anything. And you'll know this because there's a star in the blue box, a little asterisk. This means your cell is still running. And in order to stop it, what you do is you press escape and then double click 0. And a box will pop up. And then you can restart your kernel. And that should get rid of the star. And you can evaluate your code, see if there are any problems in it. Another common mishap as well. So you can see up here, it says code. This is because I've selected this cell here, which is code. But sometimes people try to execute a cell and they go, it's not working. Why isn't it working? Well, it's probably in either Markdown or raw, and this isn't code. The compiler treats this as text. So make sure that your cells are in code, and then you will be able to run it. So this is a very common thing, which is why I've added it in. So we're coming to the end of this tutorial now on just the basics of Jupyter Labs and the layout of it. And it's important to know that hindsight is a wonderful thing. You may be beginning your physics degree just now, and you might think, there's a lot more computing science in my physics course than I was thinking. That's because there is a lot of computing science in this physics course. Most of modern physics is mostly done using computer science and computers. So I highly recommend that you learn the basics of Python because you will use it in every single lab that you come across. Python is very easy to learn. Before I came to university, I had no coding experience at all. I'd never taken it in school. And so all of my coding experience has been from computing science classes and the physics laboratories as well. So it is very easy to learn. You are capable of learning it. You just need to follow these video tutorials. There are plenty of YouTube videos as well online that are excellent to watch. And there's also a really good website called w3schools.com, which has tutorials on every basic function in Python and lots more that these videos won't cover as well. Python is a huge language and there are lots of parts to it as well. Another thing is, I have to mention this because all the pain and anguish that people must have experienced. Think of those poor PhD students. Do not forget to save with Control S throughout all of university. Just if it ever pops into your mind, just press Control S, save whatever you're working on, because you never know when something might go wrong. You might lose access to something, and you really want to have a backup. So, just to follow on, make this relevant, the save button for Jupyter Labs is up here. This one here, it looks like a camera or a filing system. It probably is one of those things from the 80s I'm too young to know about now where it came from, but there we go. It's this button up here. Just save your work. Finally, to finish off, an example of an infinite loop. This stuff, we're not going to cover a while loop or a flag variable or anything like that. But see if you can work out why it's an infinite loop. And you can see when I execute it with Control and Enter, sure enough, the little asterisk pops up. And so it's running continuously, not outputting anything. If I want to reset it, press Escape, 00, restart, and you can see that asterisk down here is going to disappear in a wee second, and it's gone. So now you've reset it and you can fix the problem. So that's the end of this video on the basics of Jupyter Labs. Up next will be the basics of Python, where we'll cover data types, data structures, and operators as well. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.